All right, everyone, we are live, and tonight I have a very special thing that I'm going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about, or I'm going to be talking about my osteoblast method. So, to back up, what is osteoblast? I mentioned a couple of weeks ago about osteoblast cells. And osteoblast cells are one of two cells that help to build strong, healthy bone. So think of the B in osteoblast, B as in building. And what they do, these cells build a matrix on top of the bone that then creates new healthy bone. There's also osteoclast cells, and those are cells that dissolve old bone. So my osteoblast method is actually a way for you to exercise in a very, very special way in order to help to build healthy bone. So I called it the osteoblast method. The osteoblast method is really based on the Wolff or Wolff's law. If you haven't heard of Wolff's law states that your bones will adapt based on the stress and the demands that you place on them. When you work your muscles, you put stress on your bones at the same time. And in response, your bone tissue remodels and becomes stronger. If you don't use your muscles surrounding the bone, then the bone tissue can weaken. So my osteoblast method incorporates the Wolff's law into it. One way to place stress, and there's many different ways to place stress on your bones, but one way you can do this is through isometrics. If you're not familiar with an isometric is a way in which you're pressing against something. So a good example of this is if you just take your hands, bring the hands together, and the right hand is pressing towards the left, and your left hand is going to be pressing towards the right. So you press the hands together and use as much force as you can. So this is an isometric when we do this type of action. So what I've done is I've incorporated very specific exercises using isometrics, coming up with this brand that I have labeled the Osteoblast Method. It's also been proven through lots of research that I've done that this isometric, this way of incorporating Wolff's law, you should hold it. There's a sweet spot. And the sweet spot is between 30 and 60 seconds. So when you go into that isometric type of exercise, you want to hold it for at least 30 seconds. And the reason why is because through researching this, I found that basically if you don't hold it for 30 seconds, you're really not incorporating and getting the most benefit from the exercise. However, they have also done some studies with the Wolff's Law that basically has identified that if you hold it for more than 60 seconds, it actually doesn't have any more added value to it. So there's this sweet spot when you hold or do an isometric of holding between 30 and 60 seconds. So I have some different exercises that I'm going to show you tonight on how you can incorporate the Osteoblast Method. And they're very, very easy, simple exercises, and they're all for the upper body. And the reason why I really want to focus tonight on the upper body is because many times in our exercises, we're working the lower body. And sometimes I think with osteoporosis and osteopenia, because our DEXA scans are usually the lower back or the lumbar area, as well as the hips, we sometimes identify as those being the bones that can lose density. But in reality, it's basically your entire bone structure that can lose bone density. And your upper body, let's face it, if you're going to fall, let's say you trip, that type of thing, a lot of times what we do is we bring our hands out right away to help reduce or break our fall. So a lot of times what happens with folks that have osteoporosis or osteopenia is when they fall and they try to break their fall, they end up breaking their wrist, their arm, having problems with shoulders. They can break some ribs. So it's all upper, not necessarily do they break a hip. So because of that, I really wanted to focus tonight on the upper body and give you some different exercises that you can do incorporating my Osteo-Blast method. So you can sit in a chair. In fact, I advise you to sit in a chair to do these exercises. And again, you're going to hold each of these, and I've got a clock, so I'm going to be looking at the clock up here so that we can make sure that we're doing each of these 60 seconds or between 30 and 60 seconds. The other thing that I want to tell you before we do the exercises is make sure that you're not holding your breath. So just breathe normally, but you don't want to hold your breath when you're doing any type of isometric. And the reason why is because if you hold your breath, you actually can increase your blood pressure. So we don't necessarily want our blood pressure going up. So again, sit nice and tall. And the first osteoblast exercise that we're going to do is the one that I just showed you, where we bring the hands together. And I want you to press with all your might. And I'm going to start my timer here. And we're going to hold this for a good 30 seconds. So you're pressing against the palms as tightly and as much as you can. So use as much force. Try not to bring the shoulders up. Keep the shoulders down and really feel the muscles working. And again, don't forget to breathe. And you can smile. We got a couple more seconds to go. Okay, you can relax. Okay, so that was the first exercise. Pretty simple, right? We're going to do a few more. So the next one, you're going to take your right hand, make a gentle fist out of it, and then take your other hand, you're going to flatten the palm and put it on the top over the fist. For this one, what you're going to do is you're going to be pressing the fist up as you press the other hand down. So again, there's this isometric or force that's going on, and you're going to do this for another 30 seconds. So again, while you're doing this, don't bring the shoulders up. Keep the shoulders down and use all the strength in your arms and the hands to do this. You'll actually feel it also maybe in the shoulders as well. Again, don't hold your breath. Keep smiling and keep breathing. Got about 20 more seconds left. We're about a third there. And just use all of your strength, as much of your strength as you possibly can. All right, you can release that and just relax. So we did one this way. Now what we're going to do, the next one we're going to do is we're going to flip the top hand or left hand down. And again, we're going to be pressing down this time with the right hand as we press the left hand up. Again, use all your might. So we can go right now. And again, smile. Use all of your strength, as much strength as you can. Your body might actually be shaking. Don't forget to breathe. And again, you want to do each of these at least 30 seconds, but no more than 60 seconds. This whole routine only takes about 5 minutes to do the whole thing. You can do this every single day. All right, so that was 30 seconds. Shake that out a little bit. We're going to do the same thing now with the left hand. So make a fist with the left hand, bring the right hand, place it on top. We're going to do the same thing. You're going to be pressing up with the left and down with the right. And you can go. Again, about 30 seconds. So again, you can do these every single day. It's not going to hurt you to do them every single day. In about 2 weeks time frame, you actually will feel stronger in your upper body by doing these exercises. That's the other thing, especially women. A lot of times we don't have a lot of upper body strength. So this really helps to strengthen the upper body. Got about 10 more seconds. And you can release that and just shake that out a little bit. You're probably feeling it already if you're not used to that, especially maybe in the forearms up into the upper arms. So again, make your fist with the left hand, but this time bring the right hand and turn it over so that now the right hand is pushing up and the left hand is pushing down. Again, try not to bring the shoulders up or anything. Keep the shoulders down. And again, we're going to go for about 30 seconds. Smile. Use all of your strength. Don't let up. Keep that strength coming and keep breathing. Don't forget to breathe here. About 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, good. Shake that out. Okay, so the next set that we're going to do, again, let's go back and make a fist with your right hand. Bring the left hand so that, again, the palm is flat. But this time what you're going to do is like you're punching into a wall. But again, this time the right hand is going to press to the left and your left hand is pressing against the right. So sit up nice and tall. Again, try not to bring the shoulders up. Keep the shoulders down away from the ears. And we'll start. And we're going to go about 30 seconds. Keep breathing. And again, you can do these every single day. It's really going to help to strengthen your upper body. Use all of your strength as you're doing these. We're about halfway there. Okay, release that side. And then, of course, we want to do the same thing on the other side. So now make a fist with your left hand. Right hand, the palm is flat, and you'll be pressing in towards the palm. So let's go ahead and start. Again, try not to bring the shoulders up. Keep the shoulders down. Use all of your strength. Got a few more seconds. Keep breathing. And then you can release. So those were some exercises using my Osteo-Blast method for the upper body. Again, what this is going to do is strengthen all of the little bones in the hands, your wrists, the forearm, going up into the upper arm, the shoulders, even the collarbones up here, get it, and your entire rib cage. So it's working the whole upper body and all of the muscles and all of the bones in our upper body. Again, make sure that you're holding each of these for at least 30 seconds, but you don't really necessarily have to hold it for more than 60. So I recommend start with 30 seconds. Again, the exercises, the first one we did was our hands together. The next one, we had the right palm with a fist. And then we did this one underneath. Then we did the same thing with the left, with the right hand up and then down underneath. And then the last one, the last two that we did, just almost like you're punching a wall here. And we did that on each side. So again, it only takes, once you get the knack of it, it's only going to take you probably about 5 minutes a day to do. But they're very, very good for starting to build strength in the upper body and to start building bone. So how this works with the Wolff's Law is that by increasing the stress that we place on the muscles, we're also increasing the stress on the bones. And it actually sends a message to our brain that basically says, oh, this person is working. I need to strengthen the bones so that it protects itself. Your body is very, very wise, and it knows what it needs to do in order to get stronger. So by doing these exercises, it literally is telling your body to build bone and build a stronger, healthier bone. So that's all I wanted to talk about tonight. Just very, very short. It looks like there's no questions for tonight. But when you come in live, that's one of the other things that I encourage you to do is if you've got any questions, I'll take questions at the end. So anything to do with osteoporosis, osteopenia. The other thing that I was going to mention too with these exercises that you're doing with your hands, one of the first symptoms of osteoporosis and osteopenia that people don't always realize is that, you know, opening up a jar, when that gets tough to do, when we're in our 20s and 30s, it seems like it's really easy. And then when we get into our 40s, 50s and beyond, sometimes those jars seem harder to get open. That is actually a symptom of osteopenia and osteoporosis. And the reason being is because a lot of times the strength in our hands has weakened. So these exercises that I just showed you actually strengthen your hands as well. All of those little bones and the muscles in the hands and the wrists. And so you actually might be able over time, and this is a consistent thing. This is one thing with osteoporosis and exercise. It must be consistent. It's better to do a little bit every single day than to work out, say, once or twice a week, say for an hour. It's always good to do a little bit every single day. And what you might find over time is those jars are easier to open because we're strengthening the hands. So again, that's our topic for tonight. I hope you enjoyed that. If you're not subscribed to my channel, I recommend that you do so. That way you're not going to miss any of my upcoming videos. I'm here live every Monday night starting at 7:30. And next week we're going to continue doing some more exercises. I'm going to show you how to do some exercises using my Osteo-Blast method in yoga, different yoga poses. And if we have time, I'll also talk about other types of bone building exercises you can do, including weightlifting, because some of you I know like to lift weights, but there is a right and a wrong way to do this, especially if you've been diagnosed with osteopenia and osteoporosis. So I hope you'll tune in next week, Monday, 7:30. I think it's the 25th, if I'm looking at my calendar correctly. And I hope to see you then. Bye-bye.